live. Okay. Couple minutes early. Okay. I swear I have the most boring titles. Working on some chainmail. Come in and say hi. Like, really, dude? Why did I do that? I swear I have the most boring titles. Hey, Barb, how you doing? Working on some chainmail. A cup is too small if that's coffee. I'll figure out what cup you're talking about here in a minute. Hang on just a second, I'll get to you guys. Post. Nope. Go back. Go here. Go here. Alright. I think that's it. Oh, the big green cup? I'm sorry you're here to... I'm sorry you're feeling shitty, Barb. It's just water. It's just water. Yep. Oh, you're switching profiles and now you're WDA? Cool. Alright, I don't remember where we left off on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to go down to... We're going to remove 4, so... Gotta figure out which row we were working on. Way too small for coffee. You got a thing for big coffee cups. That's a decent size like it's a red Solo cup, but it's green and it's enormous, right? Like, do you drink out of a gallon milk jug? Is that how you take your coffee? Curious minds want to know. Alright, let's embiggen this a little bit. Well, let me grab that. Grab that and come down here. Huh. Yeah, it's nice to switch to the other profile sometimes. Okay. Let me change camera scenes here. You drink a pot before 8 a.m. You've been in Code Red lockdown since the end of October. It was supposed to be the Relax this Friday, but now it's been extended until the end of February. Yeah, that... I'm sure you've heard my opinion on all the medical fascism taking place right now. I'm sorry you're undergoing that. I'm not going to participate in it myself any longer. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, after 10 months of masks and lockdowns not working, more months of masks and lockdowns isn't going to change that. So your regular coffee cup is a 20 ounce. See, here I am thinking you drink out of like just a vat. You're up at 4:45. I'm sorry, Barb. Well, you can hang out with me. That's the best I can do. You know? Especially with like, oh, you get to go hang out with people here this Friday. Nope, now it's the end of February. Haha. I'm sure that thrilled you. I don't prescribe to the notion that any of these things are particularly doing any good, and I don't expect that to change, because no matter what's been done, everything has only gotten worse. And I guess in New York now they're sending people to camps, quarantine camps, or they're trying to pass a law to make it that way. It's like, I'm glad I don't live in New York. You'll take hanging out with me anytime? Well, that's good. Hopefully, I mean, look. Hopefully, people getting on to the computer and sharing their videos and engaging with friends and family has helped people, and hopefully they're doing it. Right, because you're not the only one affected by the isolation. Yeah, I have a pair of slip joint pliers here. I've been using them since I was a wee lad. They're from my grandpa. I have like some Webbers for smaller stuff, but I have not invested any money into pliers. I did get some pliers for some smaller stuff for Christmas. Those were a nice gift, but it's, what do you call it? Like, yeah, I have the pliers that I am used to using, you know. Are they the best for making chainmail? No. Do they work for me? Yeah. We're going to have a problem here. That's okay. So the question becomes 2, 3. And then I'm looking at the piece of the wrap I have on the bottle. Right. Alright, we'll just, I don't know. We gotta stop and take a look at this now. So there's the edge on the bottle. And here's what the piece we're removing a bit of the edge from. And so right here, come on, get out of there. Right there, we're gonna have to weave this row together instead of like adding a ring, which that should be fine, right? The question is, right, that brings it close enough to the edge, right? Like, that's about where we want it. I think we'll be okay if we do that. I don't want it super duper tight, but I'm just gonna keep going because I think we'll be okay. One of the very few things you like about Vermont, you have the lowest numbers in the country. I can't think of anything I like about Vermont except for you. But I don't really know anything about it to, you know, like it. Damn it, man, now I gotta do more bottle wraps. The pliers you use are $13. Yeah, you know, these were free. These I bought from Home Depot or something. And, I mean, they work well enough. Right? I think, like, I was at a craft store and I didn't know what Webbers were. I was just very fascinated by these pliers, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have them. And they were like $80 at the craft store I was at, which was like an artist alley kind of thing. So I was like, all right, you know, I'll probably never be able to find these, you know, anywhere ever again. And so I, you know, of course bought them, not realizing that they were a bit overpriced for $80. But I've worn the crap out of them. I've definitely gotten my money's worth out of them. Would I choose to buy them again? I don't know, maybe. The whole state, 7,800 cases, only 144 dead. But, I mean, is that... How are they counting, right? Because that sounds like they're counting only people that actually died with COVID instead of counting all the people who had an exposure and or tested positive in the month prior with, you know, 10,000 comorbidities like they're doing here in Wisconsin. You know, it's like some people in Wisconsin think that like half the states died. It's like, no. It's really, traffic isn't that good. Anyway. Holy crap. Yeah, $80 for a pair of Wubbers. $23 on Amazon. Yeah, you know, I mean, like I said, I was young and naive and didn't, I don't think there was a lot of resources at that time that I was aware of in regards to what people were using for chainmail back when I bought this pair of Wubbers. So all I had were like the Ring Lord pliers, which I passed on to someone who will hopefully become a new mailer one day. And yes, we cannot talk about it, Barb. I would love to not talk about it. This is a show about chainmail. This isn't well, it's a show about whatever you want to talk about. I'm up for talking about anything. But yeah, we spend far too much time on the Rona. I had, let me tell you about my day a little bit. Ace Hardware Bent Nose $13 pliers, lifetime warranty. Nice. The so my day started out, I had to see one of my regular patients, and I had to go and admit a patient to our services, right? So I get all that done, and I get talking with the family, and the goal of the admission was to teach and train the family to be able to provide this person with what they needed, right? And this involved a very in-depth, sterile procedure that they wanted to have me teach this family how to do. And so I was like, all right, I gotta bring in some of the team here and start this conversation, because first off, they didn't have a family member I could teach, right? And second off, generally, when you're doing any kind of sterile procedure as a nurse, you have to have had some skills training in what you're doing, or have been, you know, taught by another nurse. You don't just jump into sterile fields as a home caretaker, right? So I got on the horn and started blowing up my boss. Well, actually, no. I got on the phone with one of my coworkers who was gracious enough to take some of her time to call our boss and figure out what the hell was going on. What was I supposed to do? So then they were like, oh, well, if you don't have anybody to teach and train, you're going to have to discharge the patient. right? So now I have this admission, and an admission is a good solid 2 hours worth of paperwork, right? It's a lot of questions. And of course, you got to be as accurate as possible. Then I have to turn around and discharge this patient. Oh, and that sterile procedure I have to go and undo, right? So I'm pretty much fuming by this point. Livid, pissed that I've done all this work and I have to go back and turn around because of an insurance problem, right? The insurance, we could have bypassed teaching the family how to do anything and just gone twice a week, right? Like, we don't need for family to learn anything. We can just, like, our company provides that service. And so, but the insurance company didn't want to pay for it, is the thing. So we got some social workers on the phone and started hollering and hammering at everybody. And after I had gone back to the patient's house and told them that, oh, we have to discharge you and I won't be able to be your nurse anymore. After a wonderful morning, they're a very adorable people. So I got to go back to the house and tell them, oh, our mistake, we actually do get to admit you. We're sorry. You know, I feel bad. I don't like having to do that to people. Alright. It was just such a headache that all could have been avoided. It really could have. And I put this all at the foot of the girl running the insurance portion of it, because she was clearly clueless. It's like, you're trying to set up people for something that they're not going to be able to do. So once we got her to understand that, like, there's no family member to teach, they can't do this particular nursing skill that requires a bit of knowledge about sterile fields, right? That you can sit down and take a class on it or whatever, or practice it and whatnot, but it's not like you're gonna take someone with no medical training and then get them, you know, caught up on how a sterile field works or how to do this procedure even. No, they have family. They just don't have family in the area. You're getting your castle rings this week? Sweet. They don't have family in the area that could come by twice a week and do this thing for them. So, but we got to figure it out. So, we're going to be taking care of them, and I didn't have to do the discharge paperwork. So, at the very end of a very long day, you know, everything got resolved. But it was a Monday, you know? It really was a Monday. Yeah. They've got family in the state that comes and visits and stuff, but people are either, if they're in town, you know, they gotta work, or if they live out of town, you know, they're more than an hour away, right? They can't just drop by, was what I was told anyway. So, but yeah, I was expecting to go in, teach them how to do like 3 things, and then leave, and I was there for about an hour longer than I had originally intended. And, you know, everything went to hell in a handbasket, but It was fine by about the time I was done doing my charting. So yeah, well, I didn't really figure out anything. I just called the people who knew how to get it figured out, because when it comes to like what insurance will pay for and what it won't, right? I have no idea. Okay. I know that a lot of stuff is covered 100% under Medicare, and I know a lot of insurance companies cover stuff 100%, but they each one has their own little like secret book of what they'll cover, and it's always different. So try to get all that figured out. There are literally people who are hired to figure all of that out beforehand, before we can determine whether or not to accept a patient. So like, I don't even worry about it, but like all of a sudden I was thrust into this situation. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but you know, call me if you need me to stop by. And I ended up going to that individual's house. Her wife is a mental health counselor. She has to deal with the idiocy of insurance companies all the time. Yeah, I'm sure. Does she run her own practice? Because that would be like 10 times worse, right? If she is like running a small practice and has to do it all herself. I ended up going back to that house I was there 3 total times today. Right, trying to get this guy's medication in him. That took a bit. So, but we got it done. And now I will meet up with them later. So, yeah, she has a small practice. They need to stop referring to themselves as providers. You mean insurance company providers? I'm sure that's what you're talking about. Yeah, no. Insurance is allowed to be run as like a huge scam. And it's, I mean, it is what it is. It's been going on that way for a long time. So, if I could just pay my doctor a flat fee, you know, it's like, here's $500 a year for just in case I need you, and then if I need you, you know, right, for something major, you'll help me set that up, right? So I would much rather do that. And I know that there's doctor's offices that do that. They don't accept Medicare, Medicaid, or any of that stuff. Am I using No, I'm using Streamlabs OBS for the multiple cameras. Did our music stop? Maybe I just can't. Oh. There we go. All of a sudden, I was talking to myself. I mean, I was talking to myself anyway. No, I'm using Streamlabs. It affords me multiple cameras, multiple platforms. There's a music channel you can download, and like, it's not free, but it was cheap enough for me and met enough of my needs to where I was like, yeah, I'll spend the $150 for the year on it, in order to avoid like trying to upload my videos to YouTube afterwards, right? So you can do like one platform streaming. I don't think they charge for it, but they don't do music, so it's nice. it definitely cut the learning curve in half on how to do this, right? Like I said, I sat and watched one video, you know, pausing it every couple seconds and going back and rewatching to make sure I heard what they said, and then going and implementing it. And it wasn't hard to get started. I think the base Streamlabs stuff, like I said, I think it's free, so like if you're only planning on streaming to Facebook or something, you know, definitely, I mean, I know Streamlabs OBS is one of the better ones. It's not the only one, and I'm not 100% certain what your needs are, but I know a lot of people use Streamlabs as their OBS, and it's definitely worked well enough for my purposes. There's a couple things that I still need to figure out how to do, but I've gotten this far, so I'm pretty happy, right? Like I want to take all the, here, where am I at here? I want to take all of those images right there and remove the background, and then remove the background of this camera, so that when I have the camera on the chainmail, right, there's no background over here to detract from what we're doing on stream. Start the build on your new jeweler's bench this week, so look into the live stream stuff for when it's finished. Sweet. That's awesome. What else is going on? What else do I want to do with this stream? Like, we got music, I want an overhead camera, I want better lighting, of course, right? I want a camera that streams in 1080p. 1080p? 1080, yeah, something. 1080 frames per second, FPS, 1080 FPS. You know, so we'll get there. Maybe a while. But it's already like, there is an effect to it, right? Streaming every night. Ooh, that was a good pop. Definitely got more eyes on the, oh, I might want to put the chainmail back up on the screen. Got more eyes on the chainmail, right? I have more eyes on my products over there in the corner. And it is kind of working. I'm waiting. I need to finish the SEO upgrade to my website. And then I think I'm gonna upload a new I think I'm going to change the layout of my website. So SEO upgrade, and make sure all the videos are in the blog, write another couple blog articles or two. Did you show your very basic sketch of what the bench is going to look like? I don't believe so. The current clarity is good. I don't think you need to go 1080p. My issue is that I need a much better camera that when doing like overhead zooms, we can get, you know, very detailed high-res images of the rings, right? Because on this camera, it's a free camera. I love it. I love having it, but like you can't get it to focus on the rings almost at all, right? So, like, I definitely don't need to go into like 4K resolution and try and stream that, but the Frankenstein camera, that's his full name, Frankenstein camera. while he's a very good camera, he just can't, he can't focus on what we need, and I don't have like a boom arm for him to hang out overhead, and he can't zoom or anything. But he did take us from, see, where were we before, right? We were doing this for a long time, right? Which, you know, that kind of works. But if I ever did like a tutorial, oh, Frank, what happened? Alright. Well, I talked bad about him and broke my camera. I mean, this is the 2-camera setup is a lot better than the angling this computer screen forward, you know. So I'm much happier with Frank here than not. And from what I understand, like 1080 FPS is completely doable. I have the internet for it. I have the computer that can handle it. I just need a camera that can handle it. And I only need one, right? I only need one high quality camera. So maybe if I ever like make a freaking sale again, sketching my, let me check it out. Let's see here. Okay. So, I'm assuming those are ring size. You got to hang your pliers. Got your computer there. Sweeps. Is that sweeps or sweets drawer? I think it says sweeps drawer. Acrylic crystal elements. Footrest. I don't have a footrest.